Typically when I break down sheet goods, I use this setup here. It's nothing more than a homemade track that's 1/4 inch plywood on the base and 3/4 inch plywood for the fence. It allows my circular saw to rest up against it and create very accurate straight cuts on full 8-foot sheets of sheet good material. I'm about to cut up some MDF, and anyone who's worked with MDF before knows how nasty the dust is and how fine and thick it can be in a closed environment like this. So I want to make some type of enclosure that goes around my saw, still allows me to use the track, but allows me to also hook up a 4-inch dust collection hose. So this piece is going to be the base of the sled, and I'm going to screw the circular saw to it, but I need to make sure that this is thinner than my rail so that the circular saw can still register up against the original fence, and that means that this original kerf line should still be accurate. This is definitely a function over fashion type of project. I'm going to reuse a couple of old hinges that I salvaged off of an old cabinet. I ended up marking and cutting and marking and cutting 3 or 4 times, but in the end I have a pretty good fit that hugs this whole assembly really good, still gives me access to the handle, and it's not completely blocked off because I still want the air flow through to grab all the dusty air and suck it out the other side. So now I can go ahead and attach this and trim off the excess over here. I'm using some scraps to put this all together, so it's pretty much whatever I have laying around. The base and the top are 1/2 inch plywood. All 3 of these sides are 3/4 inch plywood, and this piece is 1/4 inch plywood. And my thoughts were to just screw this down in place and not really worry about this seam. It's kind of a friction fit, and I have this top piece, so it is bowing down a little bit. So if this develops a bad dust leak, I guess I could just tape it. It's not really going to affect the appearance any. The construction of this is pretty much done. It's basically just an ugly box that'll fit around a circular saw and opening up on one side so that I can adjust my blade height as needed and put it back in place. So all that's left is a dust collection port. This is half of a Harbor Freight blast gate that I've drilled some mounting holes in. All the dust that made it to the box was being sucked up. However, not all the dust made it to the box. So what I have here, this piece represents the base of the track itself, and that means that this piece is no longer zero clearance on the actual track. I forgot to take into consideration the thickness here. So what I need to do is very carefully line this up with the saw kerf and then add this second piece, which is the same thickness, and then recut my saw kerf. And what this will do is transfer the zero clearance of that particular saw blade down to the work surface, so that way there's no place for the dust to escape as there was before. You probably caught me smiling just then. I'm very, very happy with the way that this is working. It's nothing more than a bunch of scraps hobbled together. It's function over fashion. I don't care how this looks. I didn't see any sawdust being thrown anywhere. I'm not covered in any more sawdust than what I was already covered in. Now, obviously, there's probably still some in the air, and you should wear a respirator when cutting MDF regardless, but like I said, it's just a bunch of scraps hobbled together, and this performs really, really well. So hopefully you can get some ideas with this. If you don't have a dust collector, you can just hook it up to a shop vac, and I'm sure you'd get similar results. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.